You got balloons all around you now.
I love it.
How are you?
Good.
Thanks for coming to the house.
Are you crazy? Thank you for having me here.
This is going to be fun. We saw you, you came to watch the Tribe Called Red one. You were here for the very first one of the big house shows we did.
Oh my guys.
You know, how'd that feel to watch it from that angle, but now to know that you're going to do it?
It's crazy. I feel blessed. It's like Twilight, you know, stepping out into where I want to be. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love it.
You grew up playing a lot of house shows? Have you done that?
I've done it before, but that's not what I did a lot of. I did a lot of like bar shows, like random bar shows or open mics or busking and stuff.
How extensive was your busking experience?
Extensive enough that there's like this battle that you have to play, and it helps to have it in like rough situations like that where people aren't coming to see you, but you have to win over people. You have to make people love you within like a few seconds, because people have their phones, people have everybody, right. You know, everyone around them, distractions, pictures, TV, everything.
Where were you set up?
It was just like street corner. Yeah. A lot around Kensington.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many things going on, so you can actually, and it's difficult to do. As soon as you can make someone stop and like give time is like one of the most valuable things we have. When you can make a complete stranger give you a couple seconds of their time, is like, did it, like, you know? It's like
I suppose that would have a really valuable impact on you, on how you feel as a performer now, going through that.
Absolutely, because there's times where you go in and the crowd, or people, I don't know, so sometimes people are just more reserved, or they're scared to feed you that energy, and you can do one of two things. Like you can let their energy win, and that's when you see performers get insecure and get in their head and stutter or drop something or not move. Because I've dropped stuff too, but it's just a matter of how you move with it, you know? You can move like you're comfortable, you can move like you feel like you're getting watched and ridiculed and people aren't really messing with you, or you can just be determined and not stop till you love me. Like, I'm gonna sell you on this.
Well, where does that come from inside you?
My mom and dad had a really big impact on like how I approach failure. They're hustlers, they're immigrants, and that's a whole nother thing when you come to a different country and you have to fight for things that you had once, and it's uphill, and multiple jobs and racism and a completely different language, all those things, and they still persevered. So they're just examples for me.
So they weren't directly telling you to do that, you just witnessed it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's not true, because when I was younger, I was getting bullied at school. I would come back to my mom, and she would say, you just gotta move like it doesn't bother you. Move like it doesn't bother you, and then you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. And I did, and it worked out. So
that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I guess I was like 9 years old. I still had a heavy accent when I was younger, because I was born and raised born in Toronto, and then I spent time in Brampton and spent time downtown, and then moved to Florida. Mm-hmm. But I felt it, and it was difficult, but it's weird when you come from an immigrant family, because it's like in your home, it's like you're in that country, especially if you speak that language. It's like you're in that country, and then as soon as you step outside those doors, you're immediately somewhere else with different customs, with a different language, with different social expectations and social norms, and you have to adapt, because you can't spend your entire childhood inside a house. So,
but it really enriches your childhood, because in a way that you don't even know until you're an adult.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I was raised in a really immigrant Ukrainian home, and then my home was what it was. And then you step outside and you're like, right, okay, so now I'm in Toronto, but Toronto doesn't even know what it is. My favorite thing about the city is it doesn't have an identity.
It's cool. That's its identity. It's like mosaic of different cultures. It's almost like the identity is like the sporadicness of like where everyone's from, and it's cool to like. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still been times where like I hear my parents interact with other people and hear people get frustrated because they don't understand their accent or something like that, and it's difficult. But at the same time, that being said, I grew up listening to so many different, not just Spanish, like Jamaican, African, Indian, right. Everything, and it's cool to like for that to be normal, because then when you go to another country, but if you come from Toronto, you're used to hearing different accents. It's not like so much of a culture shock to you, right. Because you have everything. Like, go down the street and there's like 50 different restaurants from different nationalities. And
Florida, though, even though it's got a pretty heavy Latin population, certainly Cuban, depending on where you are,
yeah,
it's a pretty white place.
Yeah, it depends where you go.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of like you could walk a block. You know what? It's like you could walk a block and you're in a different world. You could switch hoods real quick, you know?
Did that feel like home? Which city were you in?
I was in Fort Lauderdale.
Did that feel like home?
No. It didn't feel like home, but I was lucky enough. I was bartending there, and I was busking. I was lucky enough to work with some really dope people behind the bar, which I don't know. I guess not. I don't know if a lot of people talk about it, but when you work with friends, it's different, you know. And I didn't really know anyone there, and I was struggling with my music because I had zero network. I was starting from scratch again. From like in Toronto, at least I was able to build it up a bit, but I was starting from scratch. And I had friends that were just supportive and good people, you know. I also met assholes. I also met jerks.
Say whatever you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I also met assholes, but
you write about them.
Yeah, but and when my family's there, man, home is anywhere where like the people you love are, you know. And when my mom and dad were there, when I was around friends, I felt like I was home.
There's so much you ought to hear about you and read about you is that you are really connected to your family. But if your career goes the way it's going to go, you are going to be further removed from them. As time goes on, you are away. You are on the road, and stability is very difficult to maintain.
I bring them. I brought my parents to Europe. Yeah, fuck yeah. I had my second half of the tour was
That's
in
super
Europe.
immigrant, by the way, to bring your family everywhere.
Oh man, I don't care. I loved it. They never been to Europe.
Right.
So I was like stoked to be able to. My dad worked hard his whole life. I'm like so happy to be able to be like, I got you, like, I got you. You know, that is like the best. So did my mom. They both worked hella hard. I'm really happy to be able to share that with them, especially because, like, I don't know, you never know what life's gonna bring. You never know when you're gonna die. I could die tomorrow and not have been given the chance to experience this with the people I love. So that's why, because someone told me that, like, why don't you wait till you have a bigger tour and you have a tour bus and you can, like, you know, give them a little bit of luxury or something like that. I was like, no, because you just never know how long you have or how long everybody has. So might as well make the best of time right now.
For sure. What's interesting to you these days?
Politics in a awful way. On a brighter note, the way that the internet has given a platform for artists that didn't have a chance before, and even a voice for minorities, and the way that we've been able to play with these cliche markets. Well, that sounds too business-like. The way we've been able to play with, like, having people that connect with your music on a closer level, I think is so cool. It's so cool because there are artists that aren't on the radio, but that have like people who love them, and they could say, I'm gonna play a show at the park in like 2 hours in this city, and they could pack the park, and that's like, I think that's so dope, and I don't think that was possible years ago. It was more difficult, and there were more gatekeepers, so it was way more difficult, and radio was essential for you to become some massive thing. But there are massive artists out there that do not have radio support, and it's just a testament to the new times that we live in. That being said, the internet kind of killed relationships too, so there's two sides to that, you know. But that's interesting to me, how it comes with like everything has two sides, and the internet's one of those things where it's done so much positive things, but it's also done awful things for relationships and trust issues.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went off.
No, you should, as you should.
Someone shut me up. Where's Reese? He's normally here doing this when I start rambling.
No, we don't want any of that. You just say we're going to keep going. Okay. Are you good with that sort of thing?
Rambling?
No. Like trust issues and relations, like figuring that out. Are you good with that? No. She's just moving her head side to side.
No, I'm not good at it.
You write about it? Mm-hmm. When you write about it and perform it, do you feel, every time you perform it, are you hearing the lyrics the same way? Are they still yours?
Yeah, it still sucks. It still hurts. I mean, it's true, because like songs are like memories that you put in a little bottle, and you just open it up and it's like you're drinking that in again, and that's you for that moment. But what's crazy and weird and cool and beautiful is like opening my eyes and looking around and seeing people singing back lyrics, or seeing like a packed house and or seeing my folks front row, or seeing like the Colombian and Canadian flags when we're away from home. All that is like light and love and happy and just condensed right in front of me as I'm singing the like these depressed words that came out of me. Is just this weird immediate juxtaposition that has some sort of beauty. It's cool. It's interesting.
On a cellular level, your subconscious doesn't know that it's in the past, right? So if you relive something, like it's in you all the time.
Yeah.
Is that challenging?
Yeah, it is. But everyone deals with their demons. Everyone deals with
not
those
everybody
demons.
deals with them well, though. Some do, some don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could be worse. I'm not drinking. You know? I mean, I drink a little, but you know what I mean?
It's not your story.
No, I'm not swimming in a pool of whiskey. I'm not snorting up some hills. I'm okay. I'm okay.
What are you reading?
What am I reading? I just finished this book called I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid.
What's it about?
Oh man, it's one of those things that if I tell you, I'm gonna ruin it. It's just the general way of saying it is it's about like how deep you can go into the human psyche and what solitude really means to someone and what reality really means to someone if at the end of the day the only perception of life we have is our mind.
Right.
It's all of that. It's really cool.
Like takes it beyond the whole Descartes, I think therefore I am.
Yeah. It's that world. It takes it beyond it in a weird way. I just didn't expect it. It kind of just, it's one of those books that I didn't expect, and it's art. It's really cool.
Like who introduced you to it?
Oh, it was just a cheap one. It was one of them that was those 2 for $30 at the airport, and I was like, "Ooh, okay." Yeah, it was 2 for $30, so I picked it up.
What was the other one?
Proof of Heaven.
Have you read it?
No, I'm starting. I just finished that one yesterday, so I'm starting. It's a neurosurgeon's experience through, and he's a scientist, a man of science, and talking about religion and talking about his perception of heaven after he went through it. That's what I gathered from the back. I still got to go through it. I hope it's good.
Is the spiritual thing interesting to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! It's so interesting to me.
How come? In which way?
Every way, and like in the fact that we don't understand anything about it. At the end of the day, all people have is faith. Every book, every piece of every religion, all of that is all faith. There's no fact. Mm-hmm. There's no fact because everything's been altered. So in reality, we only have anything to depend on. It's just what resonates with you. So if something resonates with you and you find that that's your truth, then that's your faith. I think that is incredible. That can like affect someone's life in 2 ways, positively and negatively. Because sometimes there are religions that promote hate, and that's really unfortunate, but it's incredible when you think about the positivity that can induce in someone's life. And then I think that it's really cool that we still don't understand really what happens after death. We speculate, we have experiences that other people talk about, but it's not like we don't have something sturdy to explain it to us. And the fact that I could tell you, like, think of like a white lion right now, and think of a white lion dancing salsa, and somewhere you're seeing this white lion dancing salsa, but you don't know where you're seeing it. I don't know where I'm seeing it,
but it's there.
But it's there. We're both seeing the same thing. That there's a mind's eye, I think, is like crazy. It's just a crazy concept. It's a crazy concept, and no one can tell you anything about it. We just know that right now, me and you are both seeing the same thing somewhere.
When you were young, was this your thing? I mean, you're young now, but you know what I mean. When you were little, like, how did you start to push your brain to go into these directions, or open, or find which doors in your brain were open?
My I came from a really religious house. I'm very spiritual. My mom is super spiritual, and we prayed a lot and talked about God. And I'm really fortunate to have parents that like let me speak out when things didn't hit me right. And we were at church once, and they were talking about gay people, and they were talking about gay marriage, and they started saying some condescending stuff, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, why am I, what? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And we got home, and I was like, I don't understand. Like, how can they judge? And my dad was speaking, and he's the one that first told me that. It came from my father. I think I was like 10 or 11, and he was like, it's truth that resonates to you, and you can't judge someone else for the truth that resonates to them. You can only hope to be a good person. So
the preachers or whomever were saying that they were anti-gay marriage, and that didn't resonate with you, and your father was
they were condemning it, and they were treated exactly that. And my father said that it was normal for me to question these things, and that you can't take everything from a religion. If there's things that you don't agree with, you can't swallow it because it pertains. You have to view it and let the truth that's supposed to resonate with you, and that I'm not here to be forced that. And let me have these discussions. Like, I remember having a discussion with my dad being like, how do you know Mary was really a virgin? How do you know that? How do you have faith in that? And so much so that they said, go talk to the priest. And they made an appointment, and I went, and this he was dope. He actually married my parents. My folks were married through the church when I was like 12, I think, because they'd been married before for papers coming from Colombia. But I was able to sit down, and open dialogue can make the world of a difference. Because if I hadn't had that, maybe I wouldn't be as spiritual as I am now. Maybe I would have been oppressed, and then right now I'd be anti-religion, anti-spirituality, but I was able to express my doubts and have those discussions. So, I guess I had it since I was young, but I owe a lot of that to my parents for giving me the freedom to have conversations about it.